Yo, what up, dogs? Welcome back to another movie review. This week I'm going to be talking about Missing. Now, Missing came out January 20th, 2023. It's a PG 13 movie. It is listed as a drama thriller and it runs for about 1 hour and 51 minutes. It is written and directed by Nicholas D. Johnson and Will Merrick. And it stars Tim Griffin, Nia Long, and Storm Reid. And it also has an incredibly good supporting cast as well. I actually enjoyed every scene with Storm Reid and Joaquin de Almeida. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. I'm sorry if I didn't. But those two were awesome. I loved every minute that they were on screen together. And the logline reads as, after her mother goes missing, a young woman tries to find her from home using tools available to her online, which is 100% true. She uses every freaking tool available to her, and it's absolutely amazing. But before we get into the movie, let me just give you a little story about how I even came about to getting into this film. I never knew a single thing about this film. I might have saw the trailer, and I wasn't really paying too much attention to it, and I just kind of shrugged it off as a movie experience that I don't really care about. I'm like, nah, I don't need to see that film. But I started writing a script just about an average day of somebody's life, right? And there's technology in it where he's using his cell phone. And I was sitting there thinking about it going, well, how would I show that in my short film? And I remember talking to my friends about it, and they're like, oh, you could do so many cool ideas, get really artsy with it. But that means time and money, and I don't have either of those, and I don't really have the time to sit down and learn how to make something cool and artsy with texting, right? Like their ideas were like, oh, they could walk by a cafe and all the text of the cafe could turn into the text message. And as cool as that would look, I don't have the time to make that happen. So I started thinking about other movies and how do they show that in film, right? And I was just like, oh, there's Missing out right now. I could go and check that film out and just see how they did it, you know? And it's all about technology. I remember it in the trailer. So that's why I went and saw the film. And I have to be honest with you, I'm really happy that I went and saw this movie. It was a great freaking movie. It was a fun experience. I enjoyed every single minute of it. I enjoyed all the twists. I enjoyed the cheesiness of it. There is some camp, and it was just like I said, a good experience. And it also made me want to go back and watch Searching just to see if that was any good. Even though this is listed as a drama thriller, it really becomes a whodunit. It's like a murder mystery. It's a very fun time. And you're sitting there going along with the story going, well, who did it? You know? And it's a lot of layers. And also the amount of craftsmanship that went into this film to bring it to life in the thought and the detail. They must have been working on this for a long time because there's a lot of elements that are going on here. Because you got to remember, this film isn't filmed from a camera looking at the laptop because that's just silly. Because I don't think it is. It's all man-made in probably Adobe Premiere or something like that, then Photoshop, right? And brought it all together to make these elements happen. And it's just like the amount of thought that had to go into this to think of well, how do we unveil this thing, or how do we unveil this thing and this thing, and what technologies are available? They're using so many interesting technologies, right? They're using cell phones, they're using Apple phone or whatever, Apple watches we'll call it, right? They're using security cameras in the house and outside the house. They're using the doorbell eye ringer thing. I don't live in a house. I live in an apartment, so some of this technology we do not have. And the eye ring thing that shows the camera there. What else did they use? I guess some form of Uber, which is crazy. There's some crazy thought outside the box ideas that they used in this film that I absolutely appreciated. I enjoyed every minute of it. Like I said, I was like, well, how's she going to figure this out? So that's the other thing. The character, June, played by Storm Reid, she was great. I enjoyed every minute of her. She was just fun to watch. And this might get into spoiler territory, so I'm just going to pause here for a second. So I liked this character because she got smarter as the story went along, right? Because when she first starts off, she's just this whiny teenager. Woe is me. Mom hates me, or can't let me do things. You know what I'm saying? Teenage angst. She's 18. As the story progresses, she goes from being I hate my mom to I gotta find her. She keeps getting hit with obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, and she keeps figuring out cool ways to get around it. You know what I'm saying? Like, she gets stopped here and she'll be like, a whole other idea will come to her. And she'll be like, maybe I could do it this way, or maybe I could do it this way. And then her friends are helping her too. Like, it's not just her, but she does have her like little friend sidekicks that are sending her things too over the chat messages, which is really interesting how this whole thing is played out, right? Like, because she's FaceTiming with her friends, she has chat messages coming in. There's certain elements though where it does get cheesy and you're just like, would they even do that? You know what I'm saying? Would the cops FaceTime you? Now, I don't deal with cops, but would the cops FaceTime you? Or the FBI agents FaceTime you? So there's certain elements where you're going to go, yeah, okay, that's a little corny. However, it's still so much fun. I'm telling you guys, it's a fun movie. I had a fun time watching it from beginning to end. When I was finished watching the film, I was like, oh, I think I understand what to do. It definitely made me think a little bit more 2023 and less 2015 when it comes to using technology and how people are using technology today. Because maybe I myself, when I use my phone, I'm maybe using it a little too archaic. Maybe I'm not doing FaceTime as much as everybody else, and so it just opened my own ideas to other ways that people are using technology. So like I said, this was a great movie. It was a very enjoyable experience, and I do recommend you give the film a chance. Go and see it in the theater, or wait for it to be digital download on Apple TV and all that jazz. Whenever you can see it, I highly recommend you just give it a chance. So really, the final question is, would I buy this film and put it in the collection? I have been thinking about that, and I think it will come down to what's on the special features, because I would really like to listen to the directors talk about how they made this film. I think that would be a very cool conversation to listen to and just get their insights on how they approached making this film. So if it has a director's commentary on here, or even a writer's commentary on here, I would probably buy this film. Now, if that's not the case and it just comes bare bones, maybe a featurette or two, I don't think I would want the film, but I think I would maybe consider buying a 2-pack. If it came with Searching and Missing and it's just bare bones, I think I would probably buy that. Why not have it in the collection? It was a fun movie. And I'm sure I have friends out there who will never see this film. And I think I would actually tell them, you should watch this film. Let me give it to you. Like, here, borrow this film from me. You will enjoy it. So there is hope. Anyways, that is the end of my review. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. And I just want to say thank you again for listening and taking time out of your day to just hear me rant and rave about a film that inspired me a little bit for what I plan on making in the future. So I hope you all have a good week and enjoy the movies, Peace.